Let me ask you a question powerful enough to rewrite everything you know about modern wars. What if the biggest wars of our century weren't fought for freedom or human rights or democracy? What if the real trigger was something older than war, more precious than gold, more powerful than nuclear bombs? Oil, the fuel of empires. And 3 nations paid the price for possessing too much of it: Iraq, Libya, Venezuela. Stay with me till the end, because the answer to that question is not what you've been told. March 2003, the United States invades Iraq. The world is told that Saddam Hussein is hiding weapons of mass destruction. That claim was repeated again and again until the world accepted it as truth. But after the dust settled, no WMDs were ever found. Not a trace. So why did America really go in? Because Iraq wasn't just another Middle Eastern country. Iraq holds one of the largest and cheapest to extract oil reserves in the world. Oil so easily accessible, it could feed global markets for decades. And Saddam made a dangerous decision. He started selling Iraqi oil in euros, not dollars. This was a direct threat to the U.S. petrodollar system. You see, the global dominance of the American dollar depends on one rule: oil must be traded in dollars. Break that rule, and you break America's financial empire. So when Saddam switched currencies, he wasn't just selling oil, he was challenging American power. And after the invasion, American oil giants Exxon, Chevron, Halliburton got direct access to Iraqi oil fields. So was the Iraq War about WMDs, or about controlling the world's most strategic oil reserves and protecting the dollar. 2011, a new target emerged: Colonel Muammar Gaddafi, Africa's longest ruling leader. A man who controlled oil and rejected American dominance. But Gaddafi did something even more dangerous than Saddam. He proposed creating a gold-backed African currency. With this move, African oil would be sold in gold, not in U.S. dollars, not in euros, gold. This was America's nightmare scenario, a new currency that could challenge the dollar globally. And Libya had the perfect weapon to make it real: the largest oil reserves in Africa. Then suddenly, in the name of protecting civilians, NATO launched a full-scale bombing campaign. Libya, once the richest country in Africa, collapsed in months, and after Gaddafi was gone, Western nations quietly secured access to Libyan oil contracts. Was Libya about saving civilians or preventing Africa from developing financial independence? Now Venezuela, a completely different battlefield. No bombs, no airstrikes. Because Venezuela sits on the largest oil reserves on Earth, more than Saudi Arabia, more than Iraq. And like Iraq and Libya, their government chose independence over American control. The U.S. used a new strategy: economic warfare, freezing Venezuelan assets, blocking their oil exports, triggering hyperinflation. At one point, the U.S. openly declared Venezuela's oil belongs to the Venezuelan people and American companies. This was the new method: no bombs, just sanctions. A silent war that starved the economy until the country bent. 3 leaders, 3 nations, 3 wars fought in 3 different ways. But every time, the same pattern emerges. And when they did, America stepped in, sometimes through invasion, sometimes through NATO, sometimes through sanctions. But the motive never changed. To understand why America fights these wars, you must understand one truth. Oil is not about cars. Oil is about control. The world trades oil in dollars. This forces every nation to hold the U.S. currency. It keeps America powerful. It keeps the dollar dominant. It keeps Wall Street rich. So when Iraq threatened the dollar, when Libya threatened a new currency, when Venezuela nationalized its oil, America reacted. At the beginning, I asked you a question. Were these wars fought for freedom? Or for something far more valuable? Now you've seen the pattern, you've seen the evidence, you've seen the consequences. But the truth is simple. The modern world is not built on democracy or diplomacy or peace. It is built on oil, and America fights not for nations, but for black gold, the fuel of empires.